Now today I'm going to be painting a very delightful robin, but this time I'll be using different products from a company called Grabie. So let's paint this robin, and in the meantime I'll give you some ideas about these products in question. And also, of course, some tips and tricks on how to paint this delightful little robin. Right, let's get started. Okay, so 50 different watercolours. 50! That's quite a choice, isn't it? And as you can see from the box here, these colours are 100% non-toxic, apparently. Artist quality for all skill levels, and portable and easy to carry. Well, let's find out in a minute when I open the box, and we'll see what the contents are like in there, shall we? Now, with all my watercolours, I like to start off with a very light colour first of all, and gradually increase those tonal values and get deeper and darker in colour as you go along. Now, this eye on the robin, as you can see, has got a bit of a blue hint to the eye. So get that down first of all, allow it to dry, and then you can start adding some darker details in there. But the first thing I need to do using this Grabie brush, I know this is the one with a nice kind of grip, is work around the outside ring of the eye. Now the outside ring isn't completely round, is it? It's more like a circle that's been squashed just a touch, which it is. And I'm going to start working around the outside edge first of all, sort of mapping out the area to begin with. Then gradually fill in the eye with details. Now we can't see much in the way of detail within that reference photograph, but I'm going to try and fill this in and make sure the highlights really stand out. So let's do that now, shall we? Okay, first impression is good because it's a metal tin. And there's also another box as well with some brushes in it, which is quite interesting. And also a colour chart as well. Now these are really handy, these colour charts. And that's because when you get a colour chart something like this, you can test all the colours out within the selection within the half pans. The tin itself, as you can see, is very well made, and it's got a nice little clasp on the front as well. You can see this eye is looking really dark now, and that's by applying more than one layer of this black with a little bit of blue mixed in with it, using the Grabie products of course. And you can see what I'm trying to do here is gradually add more detail into the eyes as I go along. Now what I like to use is a little bit of watercolour white within a painting, sometimes quite a bit actually. But today what I'm going to do is use the Grabie product white to begin with. I think I'll probably switch to my usual one later on for the rest of the body. And this is just add those extra highlights within the eye, to make it really sparkle, to make it really feel sort of three-dimensional and round. Then what I need to do is wet the body of this robin first of all. Basically what you want to do is put the water on the paper 2 or 3 times, then you can start to add the colours over the top. Now we'll start off with using their grey colour. We're going to use the grey for the main body areas really, and just parts of the head. And a little bit on the wing, but not much. And this is actually called, well, grey. I know. But Payne's grey is what they've got as well. But their Payne's grey that I find is not quite the same as the one that I'm used to using. It's completely different colour. It really is. It's got more of a sort of violetty feel to it. I don't know why, but it has. Once I've got this on the body, then I can start to think about working on the head as well. Just with these basic foundation washes, that's all I'm doing at the moment. Then add a few extra colours in the mix as well, a little bit of orange, a little bit of brown, just around the main bottom part of the chest. Remember that we'll be adding white over the top of this, and because of that, I need this to be fairly dark for the white to stand out. Now I'll start off with bright yellow. They call me mellow yellow. No, this is really bright, isn't it? Extremely bright actually. So I'm going to start off with this one. I'm going to fill the entire chest in. And then, even though it's really bright, I'm going to start adding another bright colour, which is, well, orange. I know, I think it's called orange in the tin as well. Yeah, not cadmium orange, just orange. But make sure you cover the entire area with this orange as well. That yellow will still show through at the same time, it really will. Then once it's dry, add a second layer over the top, using some more orange, of course. And a little bit of brown mixed in with it as well, and that will help dullen it down just a touch. We'll add those details in there in a bit. But first of all, I'm going to start working on the head with this fine detail brush from Grabie and also some very fine, curved and directional lines. Now, first impressions, I'm thinking, what's that then? It's a bit of plastic over the top, and this is just to help protect the paints, I know. But you can actually use that to actually mix your colours on as well if you wanted to. Now, as you can see, there's quite an array of quite vibrant colours here. Actually, the colours do seem to be working really well, and so far transparent, which is very important as we know using watercolours. It does come with a little brush inside there as well, but this is a stiff bristled brush I've found out. And because it's stiff, to me it's not really suitable for watercolour painting. And also a water brush. Now, I've never used a water brush and I'm not going to be using it this time around, but if you want me to make a video on using a water brush like this, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Now there's 15 sheets of watercolour paper within the pad they provided. Now this is 100% cotton, acid free, £140 in thickness, so 300 GSM. And it's also double-sided. Pardon? I know, I've never had double-sided watercolour paper before. So this is 15 sheets, but no, it's not. It's 30 sheets. There's 15 sheets in the pad, but you can use both sides. Now something I've never seen before, there's like one side is cold pressed, so 140 cold pressed of a medium texture, and the other side is hot pressed. I know, it's completely unusual, it really is. I haven't tried the hot pressed side yet, but maybe I will in the very near future. Now watercolour whites, as we know, is one of those colours which people tend to shun within the watercolour world. If you're a traditionalist, that is, but I'm not a traditionalist. And because of that, I like to use white paint over the top of my, watercolours. And this is watercolour. It's not gouache, it's not acrylic or anything like that. This is watercolour, so it's still a watercolour painting in its entirety. Yes, you will lose some of the transparency using watercolour white, but the overall effect is well worth the effort. And to be honest with you, because I paint thousands of lines, such as this robin as you can see, trying to preserve the white of the paper for those very fine lines can be very, very tricky. Yes, you could use masking fluid if you want to, but I still don't think you'll get the same effect. And the good thing about using white paint like this is that you can also tint it down as well. I know, you've got to be careful, because the fact is if you go over that white paint too many times with the colour, you will move that white paint and it could start to go all muddy and messy. So you have to do it in one very light pass of colour, so barely kind of kissing the paper with that brush. Let it dry, and if you want to add some more colour over the top, they can do the same thing again. If you want to learn a little bit more about using watercolour white, I'll pop a link to the top right hand corner of the screen for you right now. Now they have sent me quite an assortment of brushes here today. The black ones came with a kit, but they're just a lightweight brush which feels quite nice in the hand. But they have also sent me some detailing brushes. Now these detailing brushes got like a triangular flat area on them which makes it easy to grip. So people that's got problems such as muscle fatigue, arthritis, that sort of thing, you probably find it a little bit easier to grip these than you can with a standard brush. They also sent me some very large brushes. Well, saying large, it's not too bad because it goes from the sizes 0 to 8. And these are 9 brushes in a kit. They come in this lovely tube as you can see. And they got very long handles up to about 8 inches long. Okay, so really long. And these are synthetic squirrel hair. So it's not real squirrel obviously, just synthetic bristles, that's all they are. Handmade and with birch wood handles as well. So 50 vibrant and transparent colours. They are apparently made to high quality artist grade. They're modern pigments and they will also claim that they will not crack. I'll only find that out once I've used them a few times. And they're fade resistant, not fade proof, fade resistant, worth bearing in mind. Now if you fancy testing these paints out, there's a little link in the description down below where you can go to their website, get 15% off your purchases, and apparently that 15% discount can be reused as many times as you want to. Yeah. And I think the paints retail roughly about $36, so that's about £28 in UK money. As you can see, the painting's coming along okay at the moment, and it's nearly finished as well. What I'm trying to do is create more of a sort of round feel to the branch. And I'm doing that by adding a few more contrasting colours underneath the branch. So slightly darker underneath, not really dark, don't get me wrong, don't make it too dark. And then by doing so, that'll create more of a rounded feel to it. Now how do you fancy learning how to paint a robin in watercolour? I'll pop a little link to the top right hand corner for you, so you can head there and give it a go. I'll see you there.